I mean, we couldn't afford when my kids were little, like we all called it the bouncy places.
Yeah.
But the beach was fun.
Yep.
And again, it was like pizza, watermelon, water
awesome.
guns.
Yeah.
And the tone that sometimes people take
Yeah.
with servers. And I'm
Oh,
like,
for sure.
they are a human
Oh my
being.
gosh.
And like, do you know that sometimes you forget?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm
And
sorry they forgot your ranch. They will bring you
They're
their
gonna
ranch
pick
in
it
a
up.
second. Yeah.
Yeah.
My second son is working at Tonino's right now as a
Oh,
butler.
cute.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, good
We
job.
love him.
And he did that all by himself. I have stopped apologizing for state of my house.
How do you balance? You have a larger family, but
Yeah.
you also have a job that requires some boundaries from
Yeah.
you.
The Best for Your Nest podcast put on by Owl Roofing. Today we're joined by Mackenzie Anderson. Thank you for
Hi.
joining us.
Thank you for having
We're
me.
very excited. I started chatting with Mackenzie because we are sponsoring the North Oaks Egg Hunt this weekend. Well, actually, Easter weekend. This will probably go out after Easter. But very excited. So you put on a lot of events and you do event planning.
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
I get hired by North Oaks Homers Association
Okay.
to help out with 3 or 4 events every year.
Yeah.
And it was because I think the nature of community events has changed.
Yeah.
They were having a hard time finding volunteers. And
Yep.
so I was hired on. I already had my company and have been doing that for a little while for North Oaks.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
North Oaks does a egg hunt, a summer fest.
Yeah.
Do you do all of these?
I do Egg Hunt, Summerfest. Then there's every other year a new resident gathering.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And then Winterfest, I have not been doing.
Yep.
That's been a different gal. And then last year was our 50th anniversary of North Oaks, and we did a bunch of events last year. So it was good.
No, and I think like community events are like, I think it's almost like a lost art. Like people, I feel we grew up like doing like block parties and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I just think it's like such a cool time for like people in the community. North Oaks is a big like geographical area. So it's like hard to always know all your neighbors.
Right.
And I think it just like provides a really good time for people to like connect and know who they're living around.
And I always say, I think if we aren't getting together face to face, sometimes we were talking before we started recording about Facebook and different mediums that you can start to demonize your neighbor or they could demonize you. And then when you start to meet them and get to have
Know them and
have
their
a
children.
hot dog with
Yeah.
them at Summerfest, and you're like, oh, you're
And these are your kids.
yes, you're a kind person, and I'm a kind person. Like, we don't have to be best friends, but
Yeah.
I think we're more similar than we're different.
Yeah.
And you
I
need
love
those face-to-face times to learn
That's
that.
so great.
You never know when your neighbor might need you.
Yep.
You might need your neighbor,
Yeah.
and it's good to know them. Yeah.
Have you been in the event planning for a long time, or is that something you tapped into recently?
Yeah. So I have planned events since probably middle school and then in high school and then in college. So I wasn't paid for any of those. And then after college, I started working at a company called BI Worldwide out of Edina. And we operated corporate meetings and incentive programs for Fortune 500 companies. So big events, big budgets.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went into the nonprofit sector doing fundraising events, which has little budgets.
Yeah. And you're like,
It was like the polar
Different
opposite.
resources, yep.
Yes, but I loved that as well. You're raising money for good causes and working with volunteers a lot. And then from there, I was working for a nonprofit called Friends the Orphans, and I got pregnant with my last pregnancy and had 5 kids under 5. And so I had to stop working at a nonprofit because I was like going to go in the hole. And then my husband at the time said, he's still my husband, but at the time,
That's what he said, yeah.
he said, I'd like you to make $10,000 a year, which felt very random. I was like, okay, great. So what do I know how to do? I'm not going to sell, I don't know, cleaning supplies or something.
Yep.
I know how to do events. So I started doing events and then just word of mouth.
Cool.
Mostly special, like small events for like 40th birthdays or retirement parties, and then small business events. And then more recently in the last 4 or 5 years, community events through North Oaks. So it's been good. It's been the amount that I feel comfortable doing. And then now in the last couple of years, I'm working at Bethel and admissions, not events, but kind of similar skill set. Of just face to face with people.
And I think
timelines.
event planning is such a skill because you have to like handle a lot of logistics, but then also like be friendly and get people excited about it. So having 5 kids, 5 under 5, which is
now they're old,
not anymore, but
not
like
anymore,
wild. What do you think
Definitely
you
wild.
took from being like a super mom to being an event planner?
Well, in some ways, being a mom is an event planner.
Yeah,
right.
Seriously.
And everybody does it differently. Being a mom, right? I was a mom with littles. Suddenly, I was home, not knowing I was ever going to be a stay-at-home mom. Like that was not necessarily on my bucket list. But I'm glad I had that probably 10 years home with our kids, still doing events, but pretty much was home. Like I actually just brought this up with my kids lately. Like, oh, I've never stopped working, and they're like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I was like, I've done events. They're like, oh, well, that's not really work. I'm like, well,
You're like,
well, I'm glad you didn't notice me working. 'Cause nap time, if you guys still have little ones, nap time was like you could pound out a lot in that hour and a half. Evenings.
Yeah.
Now I'm too old. I can't. I'm too tired now in the evenings. But I was still like sprightly in my 30s, could do that. And but your original question was like, what do you bring to the table? Well, you think about your day.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish? What can you let go? What doesn't matter? What's your goal in the day? Is it to just rest and or do we have these things that we have to accomplish as a family? What kind of memories do you want to make with your family? And like giving yourself grace.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Because every event has something go wrong.
Yeah.
Just like your day doesn't look like how
how you thought it was
blows
gonna
out. You well, it's just like you just don't know.
I had a plan and a vision for this, but I'm also just gonna be
Because I think if you're,
Yeah.
exactly. If you're too hard on yourself as a mom or as an event planner or whatever, you're just going to be kind of crabby.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's true. Oh my gosh. Okay, what would you say separates a memorable event from just an event? You've done a lot of them.
Are the ones that don't go too well. I'm just kidding. No, they usually end up going well. But that's a good question. I think the most memorable events usually are when the person leaves feeling like they've been seen, have had a connection at the event where they're like, oh, that conversation was so fun with this person, or I met a new person. So I think just setting up an atmosphere that it allows for that to happen. But sometimes it's like the audio, whenever you do big events, you'll hire like an audio-visual company for whatever, something doesn't work. You say, please like change all the batteries in everything. And then they're like, the mic isn't working. You're like, how?
The slides don't always go through.
You're like, why? We practiced this 17 times. Like, and so then you just, a smile and a sincere apology goes a long way.
That's awesome.
But I just think whether it be a big event or like an event in your home, I think a relaxed, welcoming host or hostess goes a long way. And not making people feel like they're an inconvenience or they're rushing you or something like that. So,
How long does it take to prepare for an event? And does the attendance matter for the preparation? Because I love, I mean, I don't think I've done a lot of events. I've done some through work.
You have. Yeah.
Like 200, 300 people, not more than that. Or like when you're hosting in your home, I'm wondering, you've done thousands of people. So does that mean you have to have so much more time to pull it together?
That's a good question. Well, I think something in your home is going to take hopefully less time. Yeah. Because hopefully you kind of don't feel like you have to like resod your lawn or like do like
hopefully
exactly, and that's when it gets out of control. But I think always preparing, if you have the time and margin to do it, is good. I mean, it's so nice now. My goodness, in the last 2 years, you can use ChatGPT to even give you a little bit of a timeline. Like, I'm having an event for this many people on this date. It's this date. Build me a timeline. And then you read it and you're like, oh, this stuff, get rid of it, add this stuff. But I always think if you can plan ahead is good. I think budget has a lot to do with it too.
It's not time, it's the money.
Sometimes. And then what's your goal? Are you doing a fundraising event? I mean, when I was at Friends of the Orphans, like, we did not put on these I would just tell my volunteers all the time, like, it does not matter what we do if we don't have people coming to this event.
Yep.
Okay.
So our priority right now, I'd always say butts and seats. Like we got to get butts and seats. So we're making phone calls. And then because I think sometimes it's easier to focus on like beautiful centerpieces. And you're like, but we have to raise
people
money
coming? Yeah.
and are people coming? So, I mean, we had centerpieces one year where we took pumpkins and spray painted them and threw. No one cared.
No.
It was, we needed something on the table just
sure.
or like you've been to some of the Young Life events. It's pictures of kids in a bag with a balloon. Like, because you do want it to feel festive. But I think in this day and age with like Pinterest, I feel bad for moms actually. And you can start to like lose like perspective of what matters because you're like, I want this cute thing. And
oh my goodness. It's like the pressure's on for a second birthday.
Yes, and you're like, what's going to be special at your wedding?
And when you are looking so closely,
you've like done it all for her second birthday. And anyway, that's a different question. But yeah, I think, what was your original question?
It's, but I was just, I was just wondering if it takes you so much longer to plan an event for 3,000 people versus like for 300.
I don't do many 3,000s anymore. But yeah, I think sometimes it does because you got to find the venue and you've got it like when you've got bigger restrictions. But I will say culture feels, and this is not scientifically backed, but I feel like since COVID, people are so much less committal and more last minute, which can be great too. But when you are trying to plan an event, that can be hard where people are texting you the day of and saying, I can come now because it's like they want to feel how it feels that day versus like before. I mean, our parents, our grandparents' generation, you RSVP'd.
Yep.
Like you were going to make it. And that's just not kind of the world we're in anymore.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of be ready. I think I've almost learned to not prepare as far out anymore because I'd have to redo my work a lot because you're like, this has totally changed.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or there's like you plan and you're like, maybe the attendance is going to be a little less. I've done this in events. And then I'm like, okay, don't send as many chairs because it's going to look awkward if we have
it's too many.
And then all of a sudden last minute 30 people buy tickets and you're like, what?
Yes.
Where did you come from? So I do think people are a lot more like, hey, wherever the week lands as opposed to months in advance.
Yes.
The calendar was
like
scheduled.
We will commit to a wedding. But everything else, I feel like we kind of wait a little. We'll commit to vacation.
Yep. And then, if your plane ticket's booked, if you've RSVP'd, do you feel like now people are requesting an RSVP less? Like on birthday parties, like more casual events?
And
so. How does that
But
change
then it makes people feel nervous. Yeah. Because then you almost end up still reaching out to people and saying, like, are you coming?
Are you coming? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the more you plan events, I think the more courteous you are probably to other people's events too.
Okay, that's good.
Where you're kind of going like, I know how it feels to be sitting here the day before and not knowing what to buy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so I think it just would be a courtesy to let people know. Like, we'll see if it's in people's homes too. Like, and your mom, you're like, I'm going to Costco on Monday, so I just need to know where we're at.
Well, and I think I was just going to ask, would you say is like a faux pas or like a thing that that you see people do as a guest of an event? That if you could,
correct that. Faux pas, not too much. I think people just want to be invited to events.
Yeah.
Like real event. Like
everybody
people want to be invited to your home. And people want, whether they go or not, that's their personality or whatever. But I think
everybody wants to be included.
I can't really think of too many faux pas. Maybe just entitlement.
And just being like, if I come, I come. And if I don't, and that is
a little bit of a courtesy of but then I host things sometimes and I say, don't worry, come the day out. I don't even care. Yeah. Because I'll just prepare easy stuff that's it doesn't matter.
A little pressure.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to busy moms? Trying to juggle it all. They're like, maybe they're working, maybe they're at home. Either way, they're busy.
Yeah.
They know that they've got a 10-year-old birthday party. Yeah. And they're going to do it maybe at home. It doesn't matter where they're going to do it. But what would your advice be to them for event planning?
Oh, well, nothing I say was probably like rocket science here, but I think you have to look at your time, your budget, and your passions. I think probably people come to my house for events and are maybe a little disappointed. And like, I don't have big decor. I might buy some cute napkins, get some flowers from Trader Joe's. But really, I have basics I use all the time, like nice platters or nice things that I don't have, like Easter platter or Christmas platter.
Yeah,
like
we just talked about it, that we are probably a different generation, that we don't own
No.
plates with bunnies. Because we don't have a place to put them.
I don't want, like, I'd rather put the money towards something I can use, like, for every season. But I think, again, the Pinterest thing and all that stuff. So, like, what is your goal? What brings you joy? You do not need to, for your 10-year-old son, make everything homemade and, like, whatever. He's going to want his buddies there, and he's going to want Domino's pizza and ice cream and treats and whatever. Like, and have a little bit of a schedule in your head of like what you want to have happen, so it doesn't just go off the rails. I think giving ourselves permission that things don't have to be perfect. I actually think perfection is intimidating. Like, I mean, people came to my house last night and I realized, like, I had a hydrangea thing that, like, leaves had fallen all over the place, and then, like, my kids' shoes, it was just, there's just stuff. And I just think people appreciate that because well, I hope they do. Because
They do.
I hope that those nonverbals of, like, things aren't perfect here gives them the feeling like I can invite Mackenzie to my house. Because I've hosted in a teeny tiny 1,100 square foot house. I've had, and it's like, you don't have to have the most beautiful house. You don't have to have the most beautiful couch. I mean, if your couch is nasty because your kids, just throw a blanket over it. Like, you just don't. And it doesn't have to be perfectly dusted or mopped or.
I love that.
Like, you want it to be comfortable. You don't want people like hurting themselves on the way in. But I think we're so hard on ourselves. And again, I think people just want to be invited. Now, 10-year-olds, that's a whole other thing. You know it. Like,
they go play and just don't touch anything in the
house. And I am seeing an interesting thing. My girl, who's 12, is not, like, very, like, high maintenance. She's a very low maintenance girl. I feel like some moms are going very big on 10-year-old, 12-year-old birthday girl stuff. And it's kind of, again, what's going to be special when you're
setting yourself up for failure in the future
or,
a little
like,
bit?
How do you keep topping? Of course, you want your kid to have fun, but we don't need to be spending $1,000 on a 10-year-old girl birthday party.
And then the expectation becomes, how do you beat that next year? Or then it almost puts the pressure too on, like, the other parents, because and not everybody can do that type of event. So
I mean, we couldn't afford, when my kids were little, like, we all called it the bouncy places, like, you know, I would call, I was like, I can't afford that. Literally, for our oldest, he wanted to do that birthday party, and I said, I will buy you a trampoline and we will do a beach park party at our beach. And he's like, okay. So we did. We bought the trampoline, but then we had a couple injuries. Then we sold the trampoline, and then the trampoline money went back to the kid. But I just was like, you have to look at your, like, where you're at. And so, like, my kids got it. Like, okay, we couldn't afford that. But the beach was fun. And again, it was like pizza, watermelon, water guns. Like,
do you think your community too could set the tone for events?
Yes.
I remember, you know, I didn't grow up here, so I'm moving here, and, like, early on there were a lot of bridal showers when I first moved here in 2010, and I just remember this very extravagant showers with everything matching. And you're like, so then attending something like this, you are really unable to throw a casual party and invite these same people. So that's probably
or
also
you
like
feel
your,
like that, right?
Your group of friends probably somewhat determines your events and what you feed them. So that's
and I think being confident in, like, what you bring that might be unique. Like, you might be able to bring some of your Ukrainian culture into an event where you're like, in our, I don't know, you tell me, like, what would be a bridal shower from where you grew up?
I just feel like, I don't know, it's not the color coordination. Maybe now it is. But it's more the amount of food.
Would you have a lot or a little?
A lot. And dishes are pretty elaborate.
Okay.
I was just telling somebody that we bake these Easter cakes that I can't even do every year because that just stresses me out to think
Oh,
about
good.
them
See,
because
you're giving yourself grace.
they take 6 hours to do and then they are gone because it's like this.
Because
Have you
it's
ever
so
had
special.
panettone?
Yes, I've
Do you
heard
know
of
that
it.
Italian? So
Yes.
it's just that yeast sweet bread with 10
wow.
eggs and
Oh,
some
wow.
dry fruit, but you can't leave it. You can't have drafts in the house. So like you can't walk, run around because the bread can drop. Oh yeah, they're all that you can't have your period while you are doing this. You cannot be in a bad mood because it's not gonna turn out.
So they're superstitious cake too. It's like a good mood only, good vibes only.
So in my family, only my great grandma could do them.
Oh no.
Like everybody else
was
kind
always
of
in a good mood.
attempts, but they are always like, it's so then I'm thinking this is the week to do this.
Yes,
And I don't know, I
yes.
haven't decided when,
Yes.
because when do you have kids in bed and you have 6 hours to spare?
Yeah, no,
because
they'd
you
have
need
to go to bed at
you know,
5.
it's like a croissant concept of like
Yeah, I've never
you
done
need,
that. I buy those at
need,
Trader
Yeah.
Joe's.
and
Yes.
then you wait and then you need again, and then it's just like
Yes.
yeah,
It's
so
inspiring. It's inspiring.
so that's our parties in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they are not
But the
necessarily
food
like
is-
cutesy
Yeah.
and matchy.
Well, that's the thing.
They're
Like
just
each
more-
person finds their thing that they're passionate about. Actually, it's something I tell brides when I help with weddings. Is like, again, Pinterest and Instagram. Like it's so much, and you're like, unless you have an unlimited budget, and even if you do you want to spend it all? But the groom needs to say one thing that's important to him, and the bride gets to say one thing that's important to her, and then it can't be everything.
Yeah.
So like if flowers are really important to you, great, go wild. But you can't also then have
Yeah.
all the highest end everything.
sure.
If
Yeah.
photography is important to you, great.
Do that.
But then like maybe you're not having a 10-piece band. You might have a
Yeah.
DJ or whatever. Like because it is just one day, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I remember
That's
that.
great.
Like
wedding
what do you
planning.
like to do at an event? What would be a fun thing for you that you're
Yeah.
good at that you're like,
Gosh.
oh, I'll just make sure that we have really good drinks or we have
Yeah,
really,
I feel like I'm like drinks, maybe good flowers, but I think I like what you're saying about it's more about the people and the like
Yeah.
feeling because
Yeah.
I have known myself doing some of these events
Yeah.
or like a baby shower for a friend
Yeah.
and I'm so stressed out about like
Yes.
making the event go perfect and I'm like I was probably not friendly,
Yeah.
not approachable. Some people I've never met before and I'm like they're coming in and I'm so worried about like
Yeah.
this looking perfect
Yeah.
that I'm like kind of just like
100%.
oh hi like
Yeah,
whatever there's
exactly.
drinks over there and
Yeah.
that's like not
Yeah.
making people feel good.
Yeah.
So I think as you're saying this, I'm like reminding myself to be more mindful of just like being present in the moment with people.
Yeah.
I can't say I was great at that at my wedding, which was a long time ago, but
We learn.
yeah.
We learn. And some practical things would be I usually set an alarm maybe like 20 minutes before I know anyone's going to come so that I can go get ready.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I
that's
can
good.
quick
You feel good.
just take off like my
Yep.
grubbies and like put on the clothes, maybe brush my teeth and be like, okay, now even if people come a little early, which that's a faux pas.
Oh, there you
I
go.
know, yes.
Yes.
People
You guys-
coming
Oh
early,
my
scary.
gosh, 10 or 15 minutes early and you're
That
like, this
is-
is when it all comes together.
Yeah,
Like,
that
whatever.
is
I'm not
scary.
in your house. Yes.
That's
a
true.
corporate
I'm still
event,
getting-
I'm ready. Like
Okay.
those
I
kind of
love
events,
that.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
But when it's at your house,
Personal event, don't show up to someone's house 10 to 15 minutes.
no, you can
Yeah.
just sit in the car, do a little crossword,
Have a
pray,
Starbucks.
do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Go for a little walk. But do
That
not
is-
come into my house.
that is
no,
very
I will
true.
I like
welcome
that.
you if you're a good friend. Like I might put you to work.
Yeah.
But like if you're just
Yeah.
just wait till the actual time.
That's
Yep.
Would
very
you guys
true.
agree?
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Have you
yeah.
had people
Yep.
come to your house
Yep.
early?
Even if they're sometimes on time, I'm like, okay, like 10
You're
minutes.
like, you're like, I don't know why
Yeah.
you're here.
I-
No, yeah.
I like the idea of
You're
like
like,
20
what
minutes.
time did I tell him to be here?
And you're right. Some people could be involved
Yes.
with you in the kitchen, but some
Yes.
people need to be entertained more than they could
Yes.
help you.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Yes.
then you have to kind of consider
Yes.
that too. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot of thinking. And I was asking Tammy actually recently, how do you do parties and stay
Yeah.
pleasant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think anytime I have to do a dish from scratch, my energy levels go down. And then how do you watch, oh, that drink is gone.
Yeah.
Or that dish needs to
Yeah.
be refilled.
Yeah.
And you have several
Yeah.
like zones where people
Yeah.
congregate. So you actually can't participate in a proper conversation.
I would say keep everything simple if you can. I mean, if you really love making your 6-hour cake, and like that just
I
brings
mean, I
you
love
so
the
much
idea of it. To
joy.
like, yeah,
Do it, but like I would say, I
serve it,
usually
but-
try to stock everything up more than enough, so that I can be present. I mean, you still have to like chuck once in a while, but if you like, I was at a party once where she had a water pitcher like this big, and we had to keep, it was for a grad party, and we had to keep refilling it. I'm like, why is this pitcher so small?
Where
like,
are the other pictures?
Like, why don't we have just one big pitcher,
big one,
and then you don't have to think about it. It's done. And that, so just if you can like stock things up. And then you do have the friend sometimes at events who are kind of introverted, and they don't really, they're there, but they maybe don't want to be there. There's sometimes a good person to be like, hey, can you keep an eye on the bar and just make sure, like, if I run out of ice or anything, just tell me. And they're like, yes.
And they actually will do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
they'll
will.
go stock it
Because they are
themselves,
not
because they're
chatty.
like-
Or you're like, if you see that the pizza's gone or whatever, just let me know. And sometimes, or that's, okay, so I've got a couple practical things for events, that back to your original question, and then we'll get to the introvert. So I think thinking about the 5 senses when you have an event at your, we'll say at your house. So you've got your sniffer, your smell. So that can be a candle, that can be the food you've got in the oven, just like a smell. Mostly if you know you've got like dogs or cats or something, just try to, we do our best.
Open the windows.
Music, so hearing, like that's not my, like I don't really, there are people who like love music and know what to play. I don't really know what to play. So I just ask Alexa to play some things. But if you're like a music connoisseur, that can be really fun too. And that sets a vibe.
Yeah, that's a good
Mostly
task.
100%.
a good task. Yeah, for sure. And if it's like a 40th birthday outside and we're dancing, like that is a good task to give somebody like DJ, you know.
My husband always gets that.
Yeah,
task.
so
I'm
he
like,
gets that.
you make the playlist and just touching stuff.
And then eating and drinking. You're you know, you're gonna make sure you have your food and drink. I would say, for me, I really don't make too much homemade. It's a lot of like dumping things together, kind of dips or different, you know, things that are kind of semi-homemade. But I don't have I can't. Like, I don't know. I'm not having sit-down dinner parties very much. And if I am, it's like steaks on the grill, baked potatoes in the oven, a big salad.
But it's
like,
also, you had to learn speed because you've raised 5 kids.
Yes.
Oh, that
And
maybe
kids
is,
are not necessarily very patient. We have 2.
Yeah.
And like I drive them from daycare and they already have like 6 options in their head what they would like to ask for a snack.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm thinking like, I don't think I could do dinner like the way I would do dinner.
Yeah.
So then, you know, you stop judging other people for mac and cheeses and you
Oh,
join the mac and cheese train because otherwise you just can't.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that probably that trained you, or maybe.
I don't
maybe,
know.
I don't know.
I just think the more you host in your home, which for me, I feel like my home needs to be used for hosting, whatever it is. I don't call it entertaining because I actually don't feel like I'm entertaining anyone. It's more hosting.
I like that.
And I invite neighbors over. I not all the time, but like I make sure whenever like a new neighbor moves into the neighborhood, I try to do like a little happy hour. I usually put an end time on it, whether people leave or not, but at least they kind of know I don't want this to go on forever. And I just feel like the more you do that, you kind of get your tips and tricks. And then for like people, when I get hired for events, those are usually people where this is so outside their thing, but they know they want to have a party in their home or something. I love that because then they can be the hostess and the hosts that are doing.
And you
I
can
give
do
them
like
punch
all the
lists.
logistics.
Yeah, I can say, here are things you for sure need to do for this party, and then I'll come an hour before or whatever. And then showing them, here's how I would do a party in your house. Like, here's how I
That's
would
awesome.
use this island. This is where I would put the drinks. Like, let's have this separate, or you've got a lot of condiments. Let's move that over there so people don't all like here. And, you know, because what I would like to then happen is say, look at this went well. You can invite people again.
Yeah.
Because you just made memories in your home that you spend a lot of money on.
Yes.
And it is cheaper to have a party in your house than go do
take
it
people
at,
out.
Yeah, and you're making memories in your home.
Yeah. Do you do that for people? Like, will you stay and like do the like, okay.
I'll do the whole thing.
That's really
I'll
cool.
make sure the dishes get put away. I'll make sure everything is done and like they can just go to bed.
Oh my gosh, that probably is the best.
And I think it's like somewhat freeing to do it at somebody's house.
Yeah.
because I feel like I've helped friends
Yes.
do that, and that's when this pressure of like being perfect
Yes.
comes off, because that's
Yes.
not your party, and you could just be proactive.
Yes, you can
And
take
energetic.
the trash out.
Yes.
I mean, because you still have to do those things, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you do have,
100%.
I've helped with events. They're usually like business people or doctors or some that they have high power, busy jobs, but it doesn't mean they don't want to have people at their home or they don't want to host the retirement party.
Yeah.
So that is a nice thing to be able to help people. And
Yep.
I always think this is so like not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, this is my second nature, but
That for them,
yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
gift, and
Yep.
then it makes me feel good. Like, oh, I feel good that they were able to enjoy their guests and
Yes.
not
And
feel
their home.
stressed. And then maybe like at the end of the night, they don't have such a big mess that they're like,
Yeah.
I hate this. They're like, oh, like I still maybe have to move some things around tomorrow because Mackenzie didn't know where this went. But like, just and you don't have to hire me. There are companies called like Hire Host and stuff that if you just want somebody washing your dishes and like minding the trash cans for like a bigger event, a grad party or whatever, like that is an option and it might be worth your sanity.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
I never even
for
thought
sure.
about that.
Yeah.
That is
That
pretty.
is so nice.
Did I go over the rest of the senses? Touch. Touches,
Maybe.
it's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're going to touch things.
when I walk in.
Hugs,
do this to people when they come to you.
What is it? Touch, smell, vision.
Taste.
Vision, taste.
Do we do it all?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you see.
Oh, see.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Seeing.
so, yeah.
So decoration.
What do you
decoration,
see?
but-
So it does need to be pretty. Somewhat.
Well, somewhat, but like beauty's in the eye of the beholder too. Like I
100%,
think
yeah.
sometimes like maybe just clearing off a few surfaces so people have places to put their cups.
Yep.
You can put it back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And just like there's just maybe you make your food look pretty. That I mean, you guys, one of my biggest hacks that I've done at so many events is like you get out your silver platters or your nice platters.
Yeah.
You order thin crust chicken bacon ranch pizza from Domino's.
Okay.
And you put it on a silver platter, and people are like, "Where is this flatbread from?"
Yeah. I love that.
As you're like stuffing the boxes, like in
"Oh,
the garage.
that's
I'm
funny."
like, and they'll be like, "Do you want to be in on it?"
We have
I'm
this
like,
Ukrainian saying where we
Yeah.
say
Oh, what do you
she
say?
could cook, but she couldn't serve. And this is exactly an opposite.
"Oh yeah, she can
Like
serve."
she couldn't cook, but she could serve. And then you are like blinded by
It's
what's
like the
going
most
on.
beautiful platter. And
I
you're
love-
like, well,
Yeah, the flatbreads. You just
Presentation.
call it flatbreads.
Presentation
Yep.
is a lot.
It is.
oh my gosh.
Or like, I did this last night. All of a sudden, I realized no one was bringing food to my Bible study, and it's hosted. I host it every time, and I was like, "Oh, I don't have any food." So I went to Portillo's.
Okay.
I got their chopped salad, just one. Asked for extra dressing. Went home, grabbed a huge thing of like spring greens, like the whole
Yep.
what is that,
Yep.
a pound or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Threw that in the bowl. Then I threw the Portillo salad in, and then I tossed it up in my wooden bowl, put it out, and everyone's like, "This salad's amazing." Not expensive.
No.
Because like
That's
there's
perfect.
always too much dressing anyway. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I go to Panino's. Or
Uh-huh.
us local people
Panino's.
here.
Yep.
You
Great.
buy the Panino's Ranch. I'll put that right on the little card. Panino's Ranch, because people know
like,
that's
the good stuff.
Just throw those veggies on there from Costco. Panino's Ranch. They also have Panino's that has a different salad dressing I like.
Oh.
Make it at home.
That's
Toss
awesome.
it in their dressing. When you know somebody's got a good dressing.
Yeah.
I used to. Have you guys been to Pezzo Pizza in?
Yes. Yep.
Bear.
And White Bear.
So I think I was the reason that they had to bottle up their dressing, because I would go over there and I'd be like, I would like to buy a pint of your what is it
Dressing.
called? Pesto, some sort of dressing. I can't remember what it's called now. And they would like ladle it up and like bring it to me. And now you can buy it at Kowalski's.
Really?
At Cub. Yes.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Mackenzie
Okay.
over there.
Thank you for starting some trends.
Yes. So yes, yeah, you can sponsor me. Like, call me.
We'll drop the
Pezzo.
link below.
I love
Yes,
that.
exactly.
I have a question. What
Yes.
was your first job?
Okay, my first job ever in my life.
Your first job ever
Well,
in your
other
life?
than like babysitting or something. Which, by the way, I did not like babysitting. Did you guys babysit?
I
No,
did, but I
I'm an
wasn't
only
like
child
a-
with no exposure to children until I moved to America and realized
you
people actually have 5 children.
Do you treat your kids like they're little mini adults because you
Yes.
never had? Yeah.
Yes.
You talk to
I
them
don't-
like they're
like
adults.
adults.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
then
good.
I start discussing things, and then I'm like, I don't think
This is maybe
this
not.
is not going
Yeah,
anywhere.
they're not
this
getting
is
it.
just going. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. I just forgot what we were talking
Your
about.
first job.
Oh, my
I'm just
first job.
very curious
Yeah.
what that was.
Oh, guys, okay. I don't remember what my first job was. High school jobs, though, I know I worked at Bruegger's Bagel Bakery
Okay.
with all my high school friends.
Okay.
Fun.
It was great. They would move us around to different locations because we were like peppy and happy. And like we would just be.
Have a good time.
Yes.
Good vibe.
And it was very easy back then. There was cream cheese for your bagels and like 2 sandwiches.
Yeah.
That was it. It was great.
Yeah.
So that was good. I worked in an accounting office.
Okay.
In high school?
Yes. Let me tell you about that.
Doing.
Do you want to hear about this?
We would love to.
So it was during high season, and I was like the greeter, and then I was supposed to do like, you guys, we barely had computers. It was like the 90s. I think I did invoicing, and then I was supposed to take the finished tax return, and then take photocopies and send one packet to the state and one packet to federal. And he showed me one time how to do it, and I didn't really understand. I just didn't get even the concept of what I was doing.
Or the gravity of it.
You guys, I just threw extra and did both if I didn't know. I just would make extra photocopies. I'd throw federal in with the state. I'd put state. I just was like.
So they were just receiving people's information.
They were
because
just
of
getting
you.
extra everything. I saw him like maybe 5 years ago, and I was like, Lee, I've got a confession. I was like, he's like, well, I mean, if you're going to do it one way, they just
At least that was
better.
better than not sending it at all.
He was so busy, I could never ask him a question. He just was constantly in meetings. I was like, well, I'm just going to throw more in there.
That's
so that was
awesome.
not
That's a great
that was
story.
not the best job for me. And then I worked park and recreation. That's also like, I loved that.
Yeah.
I worked with the kids, and that was not like babysitting. We had like every half an hour
Activities.
different things happening. That was good. And then I was a server at a restaurant.
Okay.
Have you guys served before at a restaurant?
I just served like at events
Okay.
or maybe like different church
Oh yeah.
functions or
Yeah.
things like that. But no, I
No.
feel like
Have you been to a
Ukrainian
restaurant?
culture wasn't.
I was a host, and
Okay.
then I did work at one where it was like basically everyone like splits everything. It was a small restaurant.
Oh,
it's no
okay,
longer
like
here
a
in
small
Richfield.
town. Oh,
Yep, and it was
Richfield.
called Lynn 65. They now are Lynette. And
Oh, I know
so I
exactly
started
where it is.
there. I
Wait,
worked at-
where is it?
It was the Lynn 65 down in Richfield.
Richfield.
And then they moved,
I've
the owners
definitely been
bought Lynette, and I didn't work there then, but I also worked at Borough down in the North Loop.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fun.
So it was like, it was a little bit more like the servers
your
at the
college
time were
age?
like very highly trained. Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like you had to take like menu tests and
Oh,
like
yeah?
it,
And
these
you
were
had to
career servers.
remember.
So like I didn't make it to that level, but I learned a lot through the hosting, and I feel like it was. I think everyone
think
should have a
that's-
restaurant job.
I
I say
100% agree.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
My
should
kids will
work in a
always
restaurant.
work in a restaurant or some sort of
Yes,
customer
hospitality.
service.
Service.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that just teaches you to honor people who are serving you.
Oh, for sure.
Without ever feeling like you matter a little more just now because you are
100%.
spending money
Yeah.
and they are earning money.
Yes, and the tone that sometimes people take
Yeah.
as servers, and I'm
Oh,
like,
for sure.
they are a human
Oh
being.
my gosh.
And like, do you know that sometimes you forget?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
And like,
sorry they forgot your ranch. They will bring you
They're
their
gonna be
ranch in a
back.
second. Yeah.
yeah.
My second son is working at Panino's right now as a
Oh,
butler.
cute.
Okay.
Yes, I'm like, good
We
job.
love
And he did that all by himself.
Oh, I
Like
love
just like all of a sudden had an interview. The first son, I don't see him working in a restaurant, but he should
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
I do
How-
think it's like a good, like, it gives you fast pace too.
Yeah.
Like, think on your feet.
100%.
I actually was just talking to, or I was at North Oaks Club eating, and I saw the manager was talking to, I think he was a busser or
Yeah.
something, and it was so cute. She was like, what's the words that I always tell you? And he was like, you could tell he was like, and then she was
what's
like,
the-
sense of urgency. And he's like, I am being urgent. But I'm like, I just think that's
cute.
so, like, it's such a good
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that, like, it gets in your brain of, like, that
100%.
sense of urgency. Because, like, you cannot teach that. And that is one thing that I can't forgive is, like, people with no lack of, like, let's go.
Uh-huh.
Some
so
people
the
are
sense
just
of
programmed that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys,
Lingering.
my oldest, I love him so much, but he has one speed. Always.
And it's not a restaurant.
Not a restaurant
I-
speed.
I don't know that
Not
that's
a lightning speed.
No, like I'll be like, can you run? And he'll be like, I'm coming. And you're like, oh my gosh, like hop
So
to
he's
it.
like from a warm climate, it
He
sounds
just
like, right?
he's always been that way. And I don't think
But he's
there's,
probably really chill.
yeah. Doesn't
which
get
is
upset about
amazing for a
anything.
firstborn.
yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a firstborn
No, he's
behavior.
just kind of like this. Yep. And even neighbors have said, oh my gosh, when he was little, they'd be like, we have to go. And they're like, where's Norris? Like, oh, he's just walking slowly.
I love that.
That's so cute. How old are your kids?
Yeah.
So 17, 16, almost 15, and the two youngest are almost 13. So
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twins.
Okay. A lot of teenagers.
yes, I
How
like it though.
is your house operating at this
Great.
point?
Great. I am probably a better mom for older kids. Like I would say the little kid phase, although you love it and they're darling and whatever, that was harder for me.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I don't know, for me. Like I was
I
never
think,
someone
yeah,
who's like, oh, I want to hold babies. And
Yeah.
like I love that
Neither
people
was
are
I.
like that, but I knew I wanted to have kids, but like I like having conversations
Yeah.
with them and like
Yeah. And like getting
seeing-
them become their own.
Yes, their
How
own
did you
people.
decide that you wanted to have, you said that you were from a smaller family.
Yeah.
How did you decide that you wanted to have 5 kids?
Well-
or did you not decide on a
Well,
number?
I guess I thought I wanted to have 5 and then I quickly adjusted it to 4 when I
Okay.
had 1. Because all of a
Okay.
sudden I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is
This
like
is a lot.
the whole thing, like
Yeah.
this thing. And then got the twins at the end, so
Yeah.
up to 5. I just thought I had observed bigger families and I just was like, wow, that looks like so much fun.
Uh-huh.
And I love my sister and I just wish there was more of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Cute.
and
Yeah.
and I just think there's also I would watch big family events. This is probably like my 7 on the Enneagram.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, if they get tired of talking to the weird uncle, they can just go over there. Like there's other
Yeah.
people to talk
In
to.
the family, yeah.
Yes. Like you can just
Uh-huh.
bop around. It just seemed like it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you can play like bigger games and you can like,
Yeah,
do whatever.
sure.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of my thought that it would be fun to just have a big family.
I like that.
That's
So
awesome.
I feel really grateful.
Pressure on my husband's one of 4, I'm one of 2. And he said the less pressure on any one sibling
Yes.
dynamic.
Yes.
And I think that's been
totally
interesting
makes
'cause we're
sense.
trying to figure out the like, do we go to 3?
Yeah.
Or are we? And I think that the positive is that like,
Yeah.
you don't have to always love this one sibling
Yeah.
at that, or you're gonna love them, but get
Yes.
along with that one sibling at the time.
Yes, that's an
Because-
interesting concept.
Oh,
yeah.
that's,
You've got other
yeah,
ones
that's
to
cool. Yeah, I
balance.
never
And you
thought
just
of that.
never know how those relationships are going to be. They so change as the kids get
sure.
older. Like for a while there, all my kids were mean to one kid, and then it shifted to now they're all mean to a different kid, and then it's like the relationships
The
just
dynamics
change, and the
change, but I also
dynamics
feel like you
change.
have to learn so much more
You do
within the family unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have to handle all these people
Yes.
on the daily basis.
Yes. And
That-
you have to like, I grew up with just one sister who was 8 years younger than me. So it took me some time to figure out, like, I do not need to get involved with whatever this is. Like, I would get too involved. And Matt's like,
Yep.
you don't need to, like, get in that argument. Like,
Yeah.
let them figure it out. And that's freeing, too. I mean, if they're, like, hurting each other or something. Different. Well, so,
What
yeah.
have you decided on schooling for your kids early on?
Yes, early on. So we did. Well, I was working with I had the first 3. So we did a couple day a week preschool with them when they were little, and then when I was home, public school for all my kids.
Okay.
We moved to this area because of the Mounts View School
Okay.
District, and
Sweet.
private school's great.
Yeah.
Homeschooling, what? I know I can't be a homeschool mom.
I don't think we
Kids would
can.
learn nothing.
No, my kids make fun. We did an experiment called COVID.
Oh.
And my kids, I have it on video. One of my kids is like, no offense, Mom, but you're a really bad homeschool teacher.
Oh,
I was like, I'm good
see.
at gym and lunch. Gym and lunch. I was good at that.
that.
The rest of it, I mean, I had a teacher contact me and she's like, for the last month, Soren hasn't been on the end of the day like meeting that's like 30 minutes. I was like, what?
Oh, okay, yeah.
He hasn't,
that's-
I was like, well, he's been playing basketball outside every day at that time.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him about
I
that.
don't even know, like an end of the day meeting. These poor kids.
I know,
You're like,
exactly.
It's a lot.
So
yeah.
we realized that. But anyway, and then really probably because they've been in public school their whole life, I wouldn't mind them. We're Christians. I wouldn't mind them to consider a Christian school for college. We'll just see what it is. So that's what we've chosen for our family.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of thoughts now on public schools.
Yes, there
And
are.
is
a
that
lot
a
of
good
thoughts.
impact? Is it not a good impact? Is it too much exposure to
Yeah.
things? And like,
Yeah.
There
I
is
probably have a lot of opinions that I probably just don't need to really say. Just
yeah,
kidding.
no, and I
No.
guess I don't know. You
Yeah,
know, we are very far away from
Everybody's
deciding
different.
this,
And
so it's kind of
different kids.
interesting to hear how
There
people
are
operate.
some kids who really are affected by different things. My kids are all pretty chill. I think that's probably my husband's just DNA really showing through. I went to a school where a lot of bad things happened.
Yeah.
but I think I learned a lot from that. I mean, I just told a story to my coworkers the other day about when I got this brand new Columbia coat, which was big. Anyone from the 90s. And
Cute.
somebody made a chemical bomb and put it in the locker above mine, and it exploded, and it ruined my coat. And like at the time, I was just mad about the coat. Like I didn't think anything about that.
Like
there was
anything
like a bomb
like
in
a
my
danger
school.
Yeah.
to
And I was like, oh well, my
lives.
best friends also made a chemical bomb, and then that happened. I mean, there was just like stuff happening. There were fights. You'd just be like, oh, well, let's go. Should we take the other staircase? I mean, it just was like, I don't know. And I found my friends that were great people, and I played sports and just did whatever. So and so I think at some point our kids, not when they're 5 or but they need to be exposed to the world. And
that's good.
Hopefully you're having these discussions around the dinner table. And that brings me to, we also have to say no to some things so that we can have dinner around the table with our families.
Yeah.
I mean, we chose for many, many years not to get involved in travel X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
We now, as we have one sport that we do a lot of, but I was like, we can't have 3 seasons of
Different things.
chaos because I do value our family time, and it's getting harder as we now have drivers who are teenagers, but we still have family meetings every Sunday. My kids hate it, but we go over the week. We talk through. We do apologies and thank yous.
Cute.
Nobody ever. I'm like, does no one have anything to apologize for? Seriously, we were all perfect all week long. Yep. So then Matt and I try to think of something.
So
Yeah, and just like, but I think having that time around the table, which again is like an event a little bit, and it doesn't have to be fancy.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
be
which
pizza.
leads us to, what did you stop apologizing for? That's
Oh.
something we've been asking a lot of.
I feel convicted about. I have stopped apologizing for state of my house. Like,
I love that.
oh, sorry about that. We're in the middle of this project. And I still probably do it once in a while, but or, sorry that this is a mess. Sorry.
It doesn't feel that way anymore.
I just need to stop. It was a conscious decision because I think it makes other people feel bad almost in a weird way. Like, why do I feel like I need to have a perfect anything? So I don't apologize for that anymore. I also try not to downplay people's compliments.
I love that.
Like, just say, thank you.
you.
Even if it makes me feel uncomfortable, like, thank you. And sometimes you want to like go, oh, but
this is cheap. Oh,
Yeah,
but
or
this is not what you think.
Yeah, just thank you.
I love
That's great.
Yeah.
That's very
so
That's wise. Is there something you wish your husband knew?
about me.
Or about
Other
things?
You guys, I've been Matt and I
long have you been
dated.
married?
We've been
Or dated, yes,
okay, so we met in
Together?
2000.
Okay.
We dated a long time, which is a story for a different podcast. And then we got married in 2007.
Okay.
So we're 19 years, right?
That's awesome.
Coming up
yes.
in 19 years.
Yeah.
So I feel like he knows me really well. What do I wish? I don't keep much back. So like the other day, he knows this now, but I'm like, I wish you knew, and this is to the moms, how much is going on up here that I don't think you have any idea of.
Yeah.
And the mental load, I think you'll see now on like Instagram and stuff, which I think anyway. But like, he's like,
awesome.
oh, I do know. And I'm like, I don't know if
you?
you do know. But I do appreciate that he thinks he knows.
Yeah.
Like, and really at the end of the day, that's just how most, not all women, but a lot of women are programmed. And it's probably from the Lord so that our children don't die. And that like,
because we have,
but it also means we need to give
Moderators.
ourselves more grace when we forget something, or when we screw something up, or like literally when I've left kids places and forgotten to pick them back up. I mean, like, and I'm bawling because I feel so bad. And then I was like, my mom used to not pick me up. I'm like, what? Yeah. And so it's like giving ourselves grace because we are thinking about like, oh, they need to take a nap.
I love that.
And they need a well child exam. And but some of that also could be, I need to delegate more.
Yeah. That's good.
And go like, he can do this. And like, I also have to not micromanage it.
Yeah.
I feel like it goes back to Bia was once saying that that her husband made a comment like, okay, so when you are silent, that doesn't mean that you are just chilling and not thinking about anything.
Oh, are you mad?
It means
No, it's
that
like I'm like the running list of like
yeah.
when I'm just like, I think I'm a little bit more introvert or like quieter than him.
Oh, yeah.
So like, and he's an external processor.
Yeah.
I'm an internal. So like I'm
you're
like
my
going
husband
through,
and I'm the external
yeah,
one.
Uh-huh.
and I'm
Yeah.
going through the list, and we always laugh like the inner dialogue. Everyone was like, "You don't have inner dialogue," and I'm like, "No, I'm not like talking to myself but I'm like looking at a list of words,
interesting.
like of like pictures of like things I have
Wait,
to
you
do.
can see it in your mind?
Yeah, like I'm like thinking of like the next task and like visualizing myself doing it.
Oh, wow.
So it's how
just
people's
different.
brains work. We were
See,
always
that's
just saying
why you
like if you
played
just
cello
dropped
for
into
10
somebody
years.
else's brain, you'd be like, what?
Yes.
I feel like that's a
But-
completely, that's
Yeah,
a
you're
You're
great-
making me
saying, like, I'm
think
not-
about like, I don't even know how I do, like, now I'm like, what do I do?
I know. I was like,
I know.
maybe I do, and like maybe I just like categorize it something different. But that's what we were saying. Like it's like we're just like you said, it's the constant like a bunch
So
of
much
tabs
more.
open in your brain at all
Yes.
times, and you can't always like explain that to
No.
somebody. And it's not necessarily that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
My husband was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I forgot the bottle, and we were going out to dinner with our baby." And I was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot. I didn't have the bottle. I had the formula." And I'm like, "We got to go back home." And he's like, "Oh, sorry. I guess I didn't think about that either." And I'm like, "Well, I appreciate that, but it's like, oh, I just in my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that." And it's like, no, we could both be thinking about it, but it's also like allowing them, like you said, to delegate and do it imperfectly.
And because we do things imperfectly all the time, but we probably think it's like more perfect.
Yeah, and it's like more our fault.
I just do think women don't have the gift to come to work and think about work only.
Yeah.
I just don't think our brains are either designed that way or just the nature of our lives brings us to a place
You
of
might have moments
calculating
like an hour.
lists and things like that, where I think men sometimes at work,
They
and I've
just
just
totally
learned it through being married, like
Yeah.
that they can like stop thinking about something
Yeah.
and just focus on work.
Yeah.
And I don't
I've
think
asked my husband, I was like, do you ever think about nothing?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I was like,
when they drive, yes.
I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, I literally
It's a
don't
gift.
know how to think about nothing. Can you think about nothing?
like no,
Like on the
not
beach,
easily.
maybe laying, but you're still
No,
thinking
I'm still like
things.
thinking about like, do I have my sunscreen on?
Like, oh, I gotta look
I'm
that
kind of
up.
thirsty.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. Yeah, that's me too.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of thirsty. I need, the sand's itching. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, back to one thing for hosting at your house, mostly like big holidays for the introverts.
Okay.
I think always having something in the other room, if you have another room, like maybe you have a puzzle out or you have like the game on over here.
Because
like,
people get overloaded and then
I think
retrieve.
there are people, and I have enough introverts in my life that I've just learned this from, like, my dad would just like all of a sudden hole off somewhere else, and you're like, is dad here? And then he'd be like watching a football game. And you're thinking to
Interesting.
yourself,
Okay.
like, seems antisocial, but he just needed a little time
Recharge.
away.
That's very good.
And with kids, like, maybe it's a quieter craft over here while like there's a big energetic thing over here, and like just kind of being mindful of that not everyone is loud and
This is very good.
energetic and like
Wants to be a part of something right now.
yes.
Yeah.
And like recently we did at Thanksgiving, we did like there was leftover boughs and whatever from the North Oaks making them up, and so we made some wreaths in our garage, and
Okay,
like
cool.
we had like a couple of the quieter people making wreaths, and my mom was like, "Where are they? What's taking so long?" And I was like, "Mom, they're just taking
Enjoying
a
themselves.
minute," and I think they need like 15 minutes.
That's a really good, like, especially too with like kids and like kids' birthday parties and stuff. You don't even think about that. And there are kids who probably are just like completely overstimulated at like a younger age, and they're like 5
And with
there's
all
a
the
lot going on.
sugar.
So I like that idea of having like some quieter activity.
Separate
and
activity.
asking, there might be the mom that's like, "I'm totally fine staying," and you're like,
Yeah.
could you?" Like, I think those two kids struggle a little. Like, can you just keep an eye on them? I mean, there are so many kids who struggle now with a lot of things, and mom and dad feel better when they're like, I've got some ladies staying, and they're gonna like make
Being
sure everybody's
mindful
okay.
of that.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's
How do you balance? You have a larger family, but you also have a job that requires some boundaries from you, maybe?
Yeah.
Are you able to leave work at work and be unavailable and be with your family, or do you need to be available to your clients?
I think this has been a process, right, over decades. And I think there's different seasons of life. And I think I have learned, I used to really have a hard time saying no to things. And I have now learned that the world goes on. People will still call me.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember crying like, Matt, but if I'd say no to this, like what? And he's like, Kenz, you're just going to keep, don't worry about it. Like God's got you. And like, no, it's not like this is going to be the last opportunity you ever have. And he was right. And what he's told me to do, I don't do it anymore, but like write the date down that the thing I said no to would be happening. And then like look at that day with our family. And I was like, oh, that's really good. I did say no to that because I'm at 3 baseball tournaments today and it would have worked out. But I think balance is a lie. I don't. There is.
Yeah, that's true.
I do kind of think balance is a lie. I think you need to be. I want to be cautious because I think everyone's just built different. Like there are women who want to work full time, and like that's great. And I think there's a value in our kids seeing people work hard, right? But then
100%.
if you are someone who's working 40 hours a week, I think it does take discipline then to come home and put up those boundaries. Because when you've got little ones, they're only up till, what, 7:30?
Yeah.
So like sometimes I remember a gal who used to be in my Bible study, she'd go, I'm not the president of the United States, so I'm going to put my phone in this drawer until after the kids go to bed. Because the hard thing about being a mom and being a professional is the age that you're being a mom is also this like critical time as a
professional, as a career
it's a hard
building
time. And so like, what do you value? And then when I was forced to stay home, I really loved that. But I think I also I would encourage all women to stay involved with something, whether it be volunteering in their community or volunteering at church.
And we've had those conversations where women get a little too focused on the household and kids.
Because we love them.
Yeah. And that's good, but you don't want to lose the big picture.
You need community. You never know what's going to happen. You don't want to live like in this fear of like, what if my husband dies or something like that. But the reality is like you want
really
to
don't
stay
know.
connected in your community. Find something you're passionate of, because I don't think, okay, I don't want to sound preachy because everyone's different, but I don't think our kids need us to think that they are the center of the world.
No,
100%.
Exactly.
So by having other interests, by them seeing us on a Wednesday night, like I'm leaving because I've got either
This and
work
this.
or I'm serving or Dad and I are going out on a date or whatever it
This
is.
is
Like
good.
I think it's good for our kids to see that. And to feel it. And but we as grown-ups also need boundaries. And I think the
good.
world is stacked up against us a little bit now with our phones and social media, because I think you get tired and then you're scrolling and then so just having those disciplines of like, the kids are only up for the next 2.5 hours. Like, let's eat together. And maybe we are tired, so we're going to watch a movie or we're going to do something and then hop back on if you really have to. But I had a boss when I worked at Friends of the Orphans, and she said to me, and it really resonated because I was a hard worker. I mean, I was working for the orphans, people. You don't want to be slacking. But, I'm working all over, going to night meetings and doing all this stuff. And she just said to me, Mackenzie, your employer will never be more loyal than you are to them. Like they will fire you if something or if like they need to make budget cuts. So you need to be comfortable with the amount of time that you are giving that you're not getting paid for.
That's very good.
And that has replayed to me a lot of times when I'm like, oh, maybe I should do this at the expense of my family. And then I'm like, nope. And the world doesn't end. And usually you don't get thanked for that extra stuff.
Totally right.
And you pick up where you left off tomorrow, and you just keep going.
My husband is a really good example of this. And probably because he's more of an introvert, when he gets home, he has never been someone to hop back on his laptop or his phone. Doesn't take business call, just ignore. And he just said, I am not good after 5 o'clock. Like,
that's good.
I'm good in the morning. I'd be better at 5 a.m. But and he'll say, could I make more money if I
we're willing to do all of this?
If I worked on the weekends? But to what end? Like my health, my kids. Oh, hi. Is that yours? Oh, look at that blonde hair. So yeah, I don't want to sound preachy, but I think we do
No,
as
those are good.
grown-ups sometimes
That's
have to put
wise.
up boundaries.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys own your own business, so that's a little different. Where actually that can be harder because you could work 24 hours a day.
I think,
Because it's like your other baby, you've got your babies, and then you've got like all roofing, and I'm sure that and just going like, okay.
Yeah, you have to like say that. And I think that's the one hardest part about like, there's so many great things about the flexibility of like with our phones and our computers, we can kind of do a lot of things from home.
Yes.
And so it's like, I remember like being like, okay, yeah, this is so nice because I can like take my laptop and like work while
at the
this
airport
is happening, or like go work at the hospital, whatever.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, but I'm working at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, and so there's also
Wait, when you're like having a child?
or like, I think I was like, my daughter was getting tubes. So
Oh,
it was like,
yeah.
you know, but I'm like, you don't get to just like shut the computer and be like, this doesn't matter because there always is a way for someone to reach you.
Yes.
And so I think we've all been so concerned with like getting back to people because there is like this almost expectation of urgency.
Yeah.
And someone said to me once, we own a marketing agency too, and they're like, there's no such thing as a marketing emergency. So
that's true.
fine. Like you're not a brain surgeon.
That's very
You're not a ER doctor.
Yes.
You're not a firefighter.
No.
I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah. And don't you find, maybe it's just me because I'm like a notch older than you guys, if I work weird hours, the next day I'm like, did I send that email?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I have to
that's
go
true.
back into my sense
And
and
check.
I'm like, oh, I did. Yes, I
Yeah.
did. But it's like, I can't remember because I'm kind of like
All over the place.
split-minded on what
Very
is
true.
happening.
If I can lock in on one like normal working hours, I
Task.
feel like I'm more productive
Yes.
too. And then I think like, or if I work like half day and then into the evening, you think you worked longer than
Yes.
you did. So I think it's just keeping yourself
And,
accountable.
Yes. And like, have you guys found, I think we are good at multitasking, but now they say nobody really is. So it's like shutting down your emails, shutting off your phone to work on one task. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, it only took me 25 minutes.
Yeah, because you did not get interrupted.
Yep.
Right. Because it takes 4 minutes or something for your brain to
To,
get
like, res-
Oh yeah, it's the
Refocus.
context shifting.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
well,
no,
and that's when you're
100%.
working home and your kids are home. You're
Forget
like,
it. I'm terrible at that.
Now we wait until they go to bed in
Yeah.
case you really need to do
Yes.
something, but that's also
yes.
kind
Yes.
of robs you of. And I think there is something to be said about loving your job
Yes.
and
Oh,
like
you want
enjoying and being
to.
available and then occasionally choosing not to.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
being
that's-
like, and people will flex around what you put up as
Yeah.
boundaries. If you're like,
100%.
every July we shut down. You can't with roofing, probably, but whatever. January. And we do not do anything. People would just figure it out, and you maybe lose a couple clients, but maybe you.
But they
go
might
on a
wait for
cool-
you because
Yes.
you are unavailable.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
want what's unavailable.
Yeah,
That's
maybe this
just
is a
it.
new technique.
Truly. And no one's going to be like, oh, I shouldn't be calling you at this point. Like, they're not going to put that boundary up.
No.
So,
No.
But
So
they're
it's
also not
either
going to be
you-
mad if you put it up.
I will say I work at Bethel University now as my other job, and they are very good at like, you're done.
And you're done. Yeah.
Come back tomorrow and do your work. Now, I'm still of the generation that we just check our emails at whatever. And I do. But like last week, I was emailing someone who had asked me a question. And then she's like, I'm so sorry that you even saw this. I sent it after hours. And like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's fine. I'm like unloading the groceries. And, but I appreciated that she even said that because before that, I mean,
Like
we've
just
all
mindfulness.
worked,
Yeah.
we've all worked places where your boss emails you at 2 a.m. And the nonverbal that says is like, I'm working at 2 a.m.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are
totally.
you doing?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
sleeping like a normal person? Yeah, what are you doing?
Slacker.
Slacker, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. Last question. Do you have anything that you've purchased under $100 that's been a game changer for you?
Game changer.
Or just fun.
Yes,
Yeah, or
or
fun.
just fun. Okay, I'll just think of like the last thing I bought that I was like, why didn't I get this 20 years ago? So because I have people over all the time, we just moved and our kitchen is just set up way different. It's a beautiful kitchen, but it's just not my old kitchen. And it doesn't have, I used to have a like 9-foot island and now I have a little peninsula. So trying to figure out like, how do I do this? Still have a big family. So I've been playing with things. Well, I bought some risers, like actual risers that like,
Oh.
Okay, to layer food on the table. Oh
yes,
my gosh,
so I
that's
could put my
amazing.
salad bowl up here or whatever, and then and I was like, well, I just made somehow
Fun.
but I could put my own dishes on it because I was like,
I do that for events, but I usually have like boxes, but no one sees the boxes
Yeah, because you
it's
do a
like,
tablecloth
Yes, exactly.
drape
But
over
like
it.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing a big tablecloth over my peninsula. So I was like, risers. I was like,
This
why
is
did I
awesome.
not do
that.
this?
Oh, that's cool.
Like,
For small counters.
why did
Okay.
I not
Small
do
island.
this? Like I don't know, 20 years ago.
Well,
So,
some people probably have never heard of that before. So
yeah.
this is not,
Or
it's just
Amazon
because
now
you are,
we can
Yeah, I
get
was just
you are
everything
in
off
the
Amazon.
event planning. That's why you
love
know
that.
what that is.
It was on
Yeah.
Amazon. It was like
That's awesome.
$30 for 3 risers.
Yeah.
That's
and it always
great.
feels like you're having a party.
Yeah, well, I just stash them away. Yep. And then, yeah, when I have people over.
It's always a party when you have
that.
5 children.
Oh, you guys, you can edit this out. But we once had a friend who was having twins, and they had 2 kids already. So we invited them over. Like let's have a mentorship moment. We will tell you how it all went. So we had like set up a meal. Like it was like a baked potato bar or something, whatever, on the island. And we were like waiting for all the questions. We're talking to them. The next day, a common friend was like, "Oh, I heard you had this family over," and I was like, "Yes, I hope they learned some stuff." And like da da da. And they're like, "Yeah." Dave said, "Well, we found out you only do a buffet when you have 4 kids." And I was like, "No, we did that because it was like you were coming over, and we've got the 5 kids, and yeah, like no, that was not
That's
the
funny.
message."
But you're like, I like
Okay.
a buffet.
I mean, everyone likes a buffet.
Yeah, and
That's
kids
funny.
especially.
So in Ukraine, we don't say buffet, we say Swedish table for some reason.
Well,
when
maybe- that's interesting.
when
You're in
you
the land of
cannot
Swedish
when you cannot sit down to eat, it's called Swedish table. And I've never known this until recently. Like it came up, and I'm like, we don't say buffet because buffet kind of to me means like pay $7 and eat until you pass out.
Oh yeah, like
You
the
know,
old country buffet.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then this is, I'm going to research this now
no,
that it
this
came
is
to me.
so interesting.
I'm just wondering if
Because
there
you
was
wonder
something
if
about
there's-
Sweden
Yes.
that either tables were really long or large, because I think it has to do with the size versus being able to sit
If
or
you're
not.
Swedish, call and tell us what you know.
I know
the
if
Swedish
there is
Yes.
like a
table.
cut, if there is a historical.
Interesting.
I see a
Event
I see
or
a party
something. I
around
know.
the Swedish table.
I know.
Yes.
That sounds fun.
It's kind of
Or
like,
like
the smorgasbord. That's
Yeah,
usually
and that's
know,
what
yeah.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining
Well,
us.
thank you for having me.
This was
so
very
fun.
enjoyable.
If you are interested in having hosting help for an event or event planning,
Yes.
how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can just email me.
At any time of the night.
Kenzie Events with an S at gmail.com.
Okay.
I used to have an Instagram, but I could. Sorry, I'm not the marketing
Oh, no,
person.
that's-
But just reach out to these gals
Yeah,
and they can
we'll
get
put
it.
you in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
Well, thank you very
thank
much
you.
for joining us, and stay tuned for the next episode of The Best for Your Nest.